How many people in this room have signed up or started testing a new SaaS product in the last month, a new software product in the last month? All right, we definitely have a few. Call it a quarter of you. If you haven't, you probably have, and you probably haven't thought about it. It could be an email tracking tool. It could be some browser extension. It could be a new document management software, Dropbox. But we live in a world of SaaS proliferation, right? And the way that you actually purchase software, the way that you find new software products is changing in a world where a lot of us probably also work at software companies or have started software companies. And the way that you get to your buyers now with a freemium version and a way that you can sign up for a tool without a credit card, just putting your email down, is changing. So what we did is we built SaaS to manage SaaS. Kind of skipped a couple steps and went to the next level. We call it SaaS optimization. What we do is we integrate with the company's accounting system. We discover what are all these software subscriptions, all the software applications that they're spending money on, and then we pull in usage data for all of those software applications within the company. So to give them a better understanding of not just what people are purchasing and not just all the individual kind of software applications, but also the $1 million a year Salesforce or whatever other enterprise software application you spend money on. So we pull in the spend data. We then also pull in the usage data and create one central place to manage it. So let me show you a little bit more about what we do, and then happy to answer questions at the end. So first big piece here, we built our product to be self-serve. It's not an enterprise sale. If you actually manage software spend at your company or know someone within your company that does, you can actually tell them about our product. They could sign up in a matter of minutes. The way that we do that, I'll show you right now, is we connect. First thing we do is we connect to the accounting system. So you sign in once with QuickBooks, NetSuite. If you use a different accounting system, you can contact us. We have another way to actually get into the platform. What we do is we parse the raw expense data. We match the vendor name. We do a bunch of cleaning. We match the vendor name with a database that we've built of known software companies, and we pull out every software expense. Right? Our goal is to provide complete visibility into all of the spend, not just the big solutions you know about, but the long tail of applications that individuals are signing up for. So we parse the expense data. We pull in 4 years of software spend data, and then the first screen you see in onboarding are what are the 5 software applications that you're spending the most money on within your organization, and the ability to create alerts. Right, monitor spend for your different apps. It could be over here we see AWS, right, and your cloud hosting, but it's also Salesforce, Google Apps, analytics companies, even LinkedIn, and some of the subscription data related to that. That's just the spend data. The usage data we get from 2 different sources that doesn't come from the accounting system integration. The usage data comes from direct integrations. So we'll integrate directly into Salesforce, for example, and plug into their licenses API to pull out the individual usage for all your Salesforce licenses within your company, and then combine that with the spend data to give you better overall visibility. The second way that we get usage data is through third-party integrations. So there's now all these, there's Active Directory, but there's also all the new age SSO providers like Okta that sit between an application and the user and actually track some of that login data. So we can integrate directly into some of these security and compliance tools that are already pulling out some of the license data, or it's still somewhat limited, right? So the direct integration is limited to Salesforce. Okta is also limited to whatever applications you've integrated with Okta. But we could pull out every single application that's integrated and who's actually used that application within your organization. But as I just alluded to, right, both of those are limited somewhat. The third way that we actually get this usage data is a browser extension that we built, right, with the idea that the browser is the home in which software is consumed. If it's not today, it's continuing to move in that direction. So by building a browser extension, what we're able to do is aggregate all the usage across the company. It's not just the applications that you know about. It's not just the applications that you're spending money on, but it's also the new tools, the what's called shadow IT, the rogue software that individuals are signing up for, whether you know about it or not within your organization, whether they put in a credit card or not within your organization, and we can aggregate the usage of all those tools. So the way that it actually works is this extension, each employee gets access to an extension. And it's not an agent sitting there in the background. Each employee actually creates an account, and they can see this, and I'll show you exactly the functionality for them. What it does, and the primary value, though, is the usage data. So what it does is it looks at the domain that I'm on. It compares that domain to a database that we have of software companies, and first checks, is this software or is this not? If it is software, it says Barak had a session in Intello on today's date, whatever today's date is. If you went to Dropbox, same idea, right? It's every single software solution. We have over 60,000 companies in our database today, and we're continuing to grow that. And our goal is to give you complete coverage, complete visibility into the usage of all of your software apps. Now, the value prop for the employee is this here. They can see a description about the products that they use. They can give feedback. So instead of having to go to each employee or each team owner to understand how they're using it, they can actually give feedback while they use the actual products within their company, and share internally with colleagues, right? So we're not trying to change the way software is purchased today. We're just trying to create the infrastructure platform to actually manage the way software is consumed in a world where there's a lot of compliance risk and license optimization risk. One quick note around the extension. Obviously, extensions sometimes get a bad rap for some of the privacy issues around it. We've purposefully limited what we pull in and what we track, so we don't get access or visibility to anything happening in the browser. Also, if employees are using Twitter or Facebook or whatever they might be on, we don't report back usage of any of that. It's only B2B SaaS applications. And this is what the dashboard actually looks like. So within the dashboard, you can manage all of your spend. You can see your visibility into your spend in the last 12 months and the last 30 days, the new applications that you've started to spend money on, what you're spending the most money on, a breakdown each month by spend, and a view of what are the 5 software applications that we spent the most money on, breakdown by category. You can also create your own teams. You can customize teams, set budgets. Each team owner can actually manage their own budget within Intello. A full list of all your applications, so replacing the spreadsheets that probably exist in some of those manual audits. You can actually see what team it's tagged to, a view of the spend and total spend over time, as well as the ability to create alerts. GDPR is something that we've been helping companies with managing their data processors. And then one system of record to store all this data. So it's not just the spend, it's not just the usage, it's also the contracts and the SLAs. It's the renewal dates and being notified ahead of renewals, right? So now that every software product you purchase pretty much is going to be purchased as a subscription, it's going to be sold as a subscription. How do you manage all the pieces that come with that, all the different licenses, as well as a view of the usage, right? So for each application, how many power users do we have? How many core users? How many inactive? How many licenses that we could cancel or that people stopped using or some of that left the organization, right? The other piece that we're adding here is the ability to view that feedback that you're getting from employees, right? So our goal really here is to create one system of record for everything related to your SaaS data. Over time, the direction in which we're going, since we are a seed stage company and we do have a larger vision even beyond this, is around actually building recommendations, being able to tell you what is the average cost, right, for different applications for companies of different sizes. Be able to actually give you a predictive, personalized recommendation engine for new software products. In a world of SaaS proliferation and new products popping up every day, it's harder than ever to actually keep track and understand the nuances and differences, right? We're building the algorithms to actually build those recommendation engines. So we're going to do a lot more over time. Today, we're around SaaS optimization and giving you central visibility into everything you use. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Can you differentiate between an employee using Dropbox because he's got his own personal Dropbox account versus, he's using a company-approved and paid-for variation of it?
Yeah, good question. So we report on all B2B usage. So that would include that employee that's storing, maybe their personal documents in Dropbox, but it's purposeful. We can actually differentiate. We've chosen not to strategically, and the reason we've chosen not to is around what we're trying to do. Right? We're not just trying to build a platform around license optimization and what licenses you could cancel. We're also trying to be a central place that you can discover what are the products that are actually in use within our company and how can we spend more money on those products, right? The fact that Dropbox's entire enterprise team is built around this concept, built around kind of bottoms-up adoption. So even if they're not storing the company data within that Dropbox, it's helpful for you to know that regardless, we have 100+ users of Dropbox within our company. And if we purchase an enterprise account, they're already perfectly familiar with how that product works, right? So we've actually purposefully show that all B2B usage data, but very limited in terms of like what we're reporting on, right? So we're not showing you how they're using it or even how much time they're spending in it. It's just showing that they had a session. So you actually know that, Cynthia in marketing is using Dropbox. Yeah, our goal is everything, right? So it's the shadow IT as well as the core ones. And then we can pull out just the license data, so just the ones that you're spending on from an enterprise perspective through the integrations that we're building. So we can actually differentiate over time, but our goal is to show you everything. Yeah, go ahead.
So going forward, you'll be able to benchmark, for example, you can say, well, two companies same size, one is overpaying for this kind of software, and they can say, hey, we're paying too much. So when your license comes up, you can negotiate with them. But once the software companies realize that's happening, would they be hesitant to provide you access to that you need to gather this data?
Yeah, you probably work at a software company, huh?
I'm just thinking of conflict.
No, so I actually don't view that as a conflict, right? So when you think about our product and what we do, there's a lot of great tools built for software vendors. There's a lot of great products built to help you upsell, to help you sell, to help you market. Our goal is to be the platform for the software buyer. Right? We're not trying to create any friction. We're just giving them visibility into their existing usage and, yes, potentially dead weight of licenses that they're not using and the ability to renegotiate those. We have a few investors that are founders of different software products. In our view, right, the best software companies aren't scared of a tool that gives their customers better visibility into their usage. They actually encourage it, right, because it shows how many people are using it and how often, and they'll eventually spend more money as a result.
So it's like refunding people money if they're not using it.
Correct. We charge similarly. Our pricing's on our website, but we charge per active user for the extension. We don't charge you for users that we're not reporting usage on, and that's our belief where the market's headed. The last piece is the recommendation engine. So over time, we help new companies actually get discovered, right? And through that recommendation, through those personalized recommendations. I know you were waiting, yeah.
So that's something like you have Dropbox and Box. Can you give a recommendation to an employee saying, hey, you have our preferred vendor, or this is that contract or something like that?
Yeah, so are you asking at the employee level or at the, yeah, so one of the reasons we built an extension in which employees can actually know that we're there and collaborate and give feedback, right? You can actually see over here what our onboarding page looks like for the employees. One of the reasons is over time, we plan to build a recommendation engine, not just for an organization based off their tech stack and based off their spend, but it's each individual employee within the company being able to get their own recommendations to help them scale up by choosing the best software for them, but in a more compliant way. Right, so overall, your IT person wins, your CFO wins because there's perfect license optimization, and the employer wins because they get to choose the products and use the products that help them.
Time for one more.
Okay, go ahead.
So everything's going through the browser. So what happens if a guy is on a tablet or a cell phone? Do you capture that information as well and integrate it?
Yeah, today we don't. Today we focus on browser usage. We have a lot of plans to expand beyond that, right, in terms of adding a native desktop-based first before mobile, and then moving towards mobile. The way that we capture some mobile usage is through our integrations. So the integrations actually pick up the license usage for all those applications, but through the extension, we'd only capture browser usage today.